Okay, what I've got here is my 4G6. I fitted the HP08 version 2 motor into it from Wow Hobbies. That's with the 20 tooth pinion in there. And what I found was the temperatures were getting up rather high on the heli, so I decided that I'd modify the canopy a little bit and put a groove into it, or a slot, which allows some airflow through to get to the motor and to the ESC, which I mounted on this side. Now, as you can see, what I did here was I've put a carbon fiber rod and basically CA'd the canopy after I cut the window section out a bit, and so when you look at it from side on, you can barely notice it. Looking at it from the top, you can see basically the motor and the ESC. And what I found from the actual blades was I've got an anemometer basically, which tests to see the speed of the wind. At about here, in the hover position, I was getting about 11 kilometers an hour. Moving down to about here, I was getting about 15 kilometers per hour. So there's a big difference in the amount of airflow from one spot to the other. Hence why just the opening at the top of the canopy really just wasn't providing enough airflow to cool down the motor. That's why a lot of people you've probably seen flying without the canopy on there. It keeps it nice and cool. So by actually opening a slot up in here and having it on this side, because when you look at the heli, the blades are coming around in this direction. You're actually increasing the amount of airflow because you're actually taking all that surface in and forcing it down into the canopy in this section here. So you get like a jet blast of air going straight into this area here, which is cooling down obviously the ESC, which is right in there, and cooling down the motor. So you get a nice airflow going across there. It had one other benefit which I just didn't anticipate at all, and that was to put airflow around the battery. So the battery's actually running cooler as well. On the inside of the canopy, along that edge, it's probably pretty hard to see, but I did put some more carbon fiber just to strengthen up that edge there. So there's carbon fiber rod going across there, a 1mm rod, and also on the outer section, well, on the inside of where I cut the groove. So basically on that edge and against the actual window section here. So that's 2 lots of carbon fiber, 1mm. Really didn't add any weight at all. Just CA'd it into position and it's fine. So that has decreased the temperature now by about 15 degrees. It's actually a little bit cooler than running without the canopy. I actually found that without the canopy I was getting about 10 degrees reduction. With my 4G3, I suffered the same problem. Again, I've got a HP802 sitting in here as well, and it was getting rather hot, so I had to cut the top of the canopy off. This looks very rough, but it's what was working quite well. Here it actually reduced it by about 5 to 10 degrees. I can't remember exact measurements now on this one. However, looking at the setup that I did on the 4G6, I will replicate this groove into a canopy here and also mount the ESC on this side. It seems to pick up a nice flow of air through there that seems to be concentrated because of the direction of the blades coming in and pushing down. So you know, you're using all this surface area here to basically force all the air in through this little slot. It works beautifully and really keeps it cool. So I recommend that. However, I mean, again, the stock canopy is rather heavy. I just can't believe how heavy it is actually. Maybe I might do the same with a paper canopy. I might just make a slot in it like that and put some carbon fibre around it to strengthen that little section up. But nonetheless, I mean, when you look at it from a distance, it looks good. You know, you can't notice that there's a groove in it when you look at it side on. Straight through the top, you can barely notice it as well. Front on, you can see a little slot on the right hand side there, so it's not very noticeable at all, but when you get in nice and close, you can actually see that airflow goes straight in there. I mean, you can see the other side out the back there. You know, so there's good airflow through this whole section here. And like I said, it gives you the extra benefit of the battery being cooled, because the air seems to go right underneath the battery. I've got some 600 milliamp 20C batteries, which I sit between the battery mount and the canopy down the bottom here, so they sit in there quite comfortably, and so the airflow goes straight through where the battery mount is through there, so it's like a very large airflow over the top. So it works quite well. Quite happy with that. Anyway,